And you're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to On the Verge, your truth and podcast and your conservative voice of Southern Oregon. As you'll notice that the background is slightly different this week, and that's there's a reason for that. That's because we are live from Salem, and we are actually in session this week, and we've had 2 days of I don't know that I describe it with anything other than cuss words, but it's been a rough couple of days, and it's just the beginning. So we will be in session for 35 days, and we'll be coming back to you live from Salem. Might as well be Portland. Live from Salem during session. I want to thank everybody for coming back. Please like us, follow us, go to the comment page. Now is the time. If you have questions, comment them. You can either do it on YouTube or you can do it on Facebook Live. We'll try to hit those questions. Probably going to go a little longer than an hour today because we got a lot to talk about, and we've got some cool guests with us. Some of them you're familiar with. I want to real quick just hit some of our sponsors tonight. We have Becky Holmes Insurance is still with us as a major sponsor, and we want to thank Becky for that. We're going to talk a little bit more about her in a bit. Andrea Williams Advocare is back with us again, and we're going to talk about her as well. Bill Hagedorn Construction, good friend of mine, does construction work in Roseburg, friend of Trent's as well. He's also back as a sponsor, and Senator David Brock Smith. And I should probably mention today, since we are shooting live from Salem, who knows who's going to walk in. I saw Representative Scarlatos walk by just a minute ago, so he yeah, I hear him in the background. He may well pop in and say a few things as well. So tonight's guest, I want to get to that real quick, is our guest here. We have Andrew Morrison. Andrew, real quick, introduce yourself. What are you doing?
Yeah, thank you. Running in District 48. What I think, if I'm still ranked, but I think the caucus has ranked me as second most flippable district in the state, which means all eyes are on us up in Southeast Portland, Happy Valley, Boring, Damascus, a little bit of Gresham. So kind of a calico district.
Heck yeah. Well, we're going to talk about your campaign here in a few minutes. Also, a regular to my office, a regular to the building, and a past guest of ours, Derek LeBlanc. Derek, I know you want to talk about guns tonight. What do you do?
So I do a couple things. I'm a firearms instructor. I'm a gun rights advocate. Also, I run a nonprofit that teaches gun safety to kids, and that's kind of where my passion is, with the kids and making sure they're safe and protected.
Right on. Derek, thanks for joining us tonight. And I'll tell everybody, there are some lobbyists, and of course, Derek, I don't know that he calls himself a lobbyist, but there are some people that when they're in a building, they don't have to make an appointment to come to my office, and Derek's one of them. If I'm in the office, he's always welcome. I mean, we're definitely strong Second Amendment supporters in my office, and he's always welcome. And I'm really thankful to have him on the show tonight, because there are a lot of questions about the gun bills. And if it's a gun bill and it's going through Salem, Derek's in the middle of it, and we appreciate that. Also, we have our co-host, and that would be Trent. Trent, what do you do?
Well, hey, everybody. I am obviously I'm Trent Drake. I am the Douglas County Republican Central Committee Chair this year, and I'm also your campaign manager and dot connector.
There you go. And not quite retired, or sort of retired?
Oh, no, I'm working full time. Yeah, I want to be. I think I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. I got to tell you, my butt is kicked today. This has been the longest 2 days. We had an hour and a half long hearing on another crappy bill here just a couple hours ago, and I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this thing. Before we get into some of our guest stuff, I want to real quick I've had a lot of people ask about what the Republican priorities are for the session, and there is a print. You cannot have a copy of it because I'm not giving it to anybody, but I'm going to tell you real quick what the priorities are. Number one priority for Republicans in this session is affordability, and unless you're completely asleep at the wheel, this state has gotten to the point where it is not affordable, and it's a real problem. So that is our number one priority. We're trying to I don't want to say it's our number one priority. It's one of our major priorities. Government transparency, and we'll talk a little bit about that with this whole transportation package they're trying to move to May. Education, we rank near the bottom in the state, so education is another one of our planks and our priority. Public safety, and I actually have some statements on how we feel about the federal police doing their jobs as well. And of course, and this is an important one because I get this all the time. I just saw it today on social media. Rural healthcare. Rural healthcare is very important to the Republican Party. Now, we are the minority party, so we can run bills, we can try to make things better, but we're going to have some support from our colleagues across the aisle to make things happen. So with that, I'm gonna jump over real quick to Andrew, and he's going to talk a little bit about why he wants to join the crazies in Salem with us.
Well, I just didn't have enough to do, I guess. But, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Derek, big fan. My wife and I's first date was at my gun club, and took country concert afterwards. So
Nice.
near and dear to my heart. All about gun safety, firearm safety. Very important to me and my family. But as far as District 48 goes, my priorities are ranked as such: affordability, public safety, and education. Starting at the bottom, no pun intended. Education. I have family who are educators. I came through the public school system. My wife and I have 5 children who all went through or are in the public school system. We don't pay for private school. We don't do charter school, although very envious of those who do. But we're the 5th highest funded in the nation. We're the 5th worst ranked. We were teetering between us and Mississippi a few years back. We beat out Mississippi at one point. We were the first worst at one point. I think it was 5 years ago. So education is near and dear to my heart, and we've really got to go back to basics. Coming up on public safety, my district is really unique, I think, because more envy coming my way towards Virgil and these guys. I see these rural areas. We're in the bedroom communities of Southeast Portland, and we see Metro and Portland Creek coming into our wonderful communities that used to be farmland. We still have a lot of farmland. TriMet's pushing their initiative out in our direction. We've got legalized drugs, and I'll still call it legalized drugs, even though that was amended. It's still very much accepted. Understaffed policing. We've got community relations police who are desperate to reach out to citizens in my district, and they're being shunned. All they want to do is better our communities, and they're being driven out.
Well, and to interrupt you, the current rep that was appointed into your district that you're running against, he's on board with all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's an activist. I've got everybody has pictures of him in Pioneer Place with a bullhorn at the rallies that are railing against our law enforcement. And those are individuals who go home to families. They're somebody's kid, they're somebody's dad, they're somebody's mom. Our middle daughter, the only daughter, is a deputy for Benton County, and
Really? That's interesting. Okay.
fear for her every day.
How old are you?
Well, how old do I look, Bert?
Well, you don't look old enough to have a daughter that's a deputy, but all right.
44.
Well, heck, you're old.
No, he's not.
That still means Scarlatos is the youngest one in the dang room. I mean,
Yeah, my wife looks even younger, but she's right around that age. She's gonna kill me for saying that, but yeah.
I wouldn't want to be at your house.
Yeah. But I mean, I go down and chat with the officers down there and ask them, what resources they need, and it's always something. It's always some initiative that's taking from them and giving to somebody else, and those are the people we need to fund first. As far as public safety goes, and my heart is just with our law enforcement right now at every level. Very important. So it hits
right. That's the right way to be. I think you'll get all agreement from all of us for sure.
Yeah. And that's I'll touch on the bipartisan piece in just a sec, but affordability is huge. So my wife and I are small business owners. I'm by trade owner with her. I'm a software executive. I run the West Coast for a software startup. But again, I'm helping run our small businesses. And in the last 6 years, we've seen a 45% increase in taxes for businesses. 98% of our businesses are small businesses in Oregon. Over 500,000 of our businesses are small businesses. And common misnomer is that it's just a mom and pop, but we go up into the 5 and 10 millions, the 20 millions, and that's still considered a small business. Not even
once you break the $1 million threshold, you get to pay cat tax on everybody else.
Yeah. And that cuts into sometimes all the margin. So businesses are folding up left and right in Oregon. It is the least business friendly state in the nation.
Yep.
And we're feeling it. We're feeling it every day.
Well,
So
we're gonna talk about that too.
yeah. And affordability is universal. I mean, we talked about the gas tax. I was the captain who I'm gonna hold this record, but I think we were the record breakers in our district.
Really?
We gathered 4,000 signatures.
No kidding.
They set my goal for 400 signatures, and in 30 minutes, the 4 centers that we ran broke that record.
That's
Or
amazing.
broke that goal. So
That's amazing.
4,000 total in Clackamas and Multnomah County. Very, very proud of that. That was all volunteers that we set up and ran that, and we were able to take that back to Representative Deal and say, look what we've done up here in Multnomah County, which is unprecedented. I don't think they expected it from us. So
It was an amazing thing that happened and unprecedented in Oregon, and I think it has created an avenue, because there's other stuff coming down the pipe, and I think it's created an avenue where we can start blocking some craziness. So thank you for the work you did on that. So since you're with us tonight, and even though you're not elected yet, you're going to get to be right in the middle of all the garbage that you're going to hear tonight. So we're going to be asking for opinions, if that's okay.
sure, yeah, I've got plenty of them.
Yeah, and I'm going to start out with an apology to Andrew, because when Representative Scarlatos and I were going on our podcast a couple weeks ago, we were talking about all the different races. I don't know how I missed Andrew's race altogether, but somehow I did. And I'll give him this: he didn't let it go. He definitely let me know. So that was pretty cool. And I think probably because you're one of our principal pickup races, I think you have a really good shot at. Well, I think you're going to get it. I mean, so maybe that's I don't know. I don't have any excuses. I want to just real quick hit a quick update too. It won't be quick. You got a lot to talk about, Derek. But Representative Scarlatos is actually here. He's sitting over on the couch. He just got back from the gym, so he's with us. He may want to pop in on some of this as well. But Derek, give us an update on was it 4145, the gun bill? I think.
Yeah, so it's House Bill 4145. And so we got a public hearing yesterday on day 1 of the Oregon legislature, which is not something that I really expected or anticipated, especially when we found out about it on Thursday. Hey, Alec, how you doing? And so, it seems like everything moved fast, and what they tried to do every step of the way was kind of cheat the system. This thing originally was going to start out as an LC 273. That's what I've been waiting for the past couple of weeks, because I've already known that it was coming. And Krupp, in his infinite wisdom, basically took the bull by the horns, wrote this whole bill himself, didn't run it to LC, obviously didn't send it to the other side for their approval, because they're really upset about it. And so then it drops on Thursday, and we get the alert, and now everybody else finds out about it on Friday. Now we have a public hearing scheduled on Monday, and it's just been a slow moving train wreck. Fortunately for us, I feel that the way everything happened for us, it was kind of like the perfect storm where all the cards laid out for us, and we were able to put in a really good showing. We had some really great testimony. Alec was there. David Brock Smith did a great job. Also Ed Deal. When I saw Ed Deal speak, I wasn't as familiar with him. I've been watching everything online, but just seeing him command the room, that's what governance looks like. And so that was really it fired me up, and I feel really good going into this session and also going into the election. And I think that's what a lot of the Democrats haven't figured out yet, is they've ignited this perfect storm. And what this perfect storm is going to do, it's going to elect a Republican governor for the first time ever. And I feel that in my heart, and the people that I'm talking to feel that as well. And I know you guys, from what you guys did with the gas tax, people are awake. And the Democrats, they're sticking to their echo chambers, and they're not getting out and talking to the neighbors. They're not touching grass like all of us are doing. And what they've done is they've created this perfect storm. And the way it's going to go is, let's say they do pass this bill and it goes to the governor's desk for his signature on House Bill 4145. I guarantee you're going to see record turnout on top of the gas tax. And that's why you're trying to move everything to May, right? They don't want it to be on the actual election, because she is so unpopular as a governor. And so I think this is definitely a time for us to make hay. And I hope that, the Republican leadership are ready to capitalize on this, because this big wave is coming and I can feel it.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money, but I also think that I have a different opinion, and I kind of formed it today when we were talking about this gun bill. I feel like the gun bill is leverage. I think the gun bill is because they didn't need this bill. This is a ridiculous bill. I think they threw it out there because they know that we're going to fight them, and they're going to offer this up probably in about 15 days. They're going to say, well, if you guys will go ahead and allow whatever, pick a thing, probably going to be the transportation tax to go to May, we'll drop the gun bill. I just have a feeling, because that's how politics works, and people don't understand that, but that is how it works. I mean, it's always some leverage, and I could be wrong, but we'll see.
Well, and then my response to that would be, okay, let's put the Measure 114 back on the ballot and see if we're going to get the same turnout. It's not going to happen. They got away with it once. They're trying to hold on to 2022. It's not 2022. We're all awake. We're all paying attention. They pulled the wool over our eyes, and we're not going to fall for it again. And so, let's let the cards fall where they may. So put it back on the ballot. Let's have a second chance with the tax, and we'll get a new governor of the whole thing. It'll be a hat trick for us.
Yeah, and I'm going to stop short of endorsing a governor tonight just because I have to. I'm in leadership at this point, but we have some fantastic candidates for governor right now, more than one. But we have there's some real standouts, and I'm enjoying for the first time in my political career. I'm enjoying watching the governor's race, because we got good folks.
We haven't had such a quality primary in a long time. Can I talk to the gun bill too real quick?
I'm hoping you will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we also had Court Boyce there. Don't forget.
I'm sorry, Court Boyce. Yes.
Yeah, he was the only one you forgot, but it was a great time. But yeah, what they're trying to do is basically have a permit to purchase, right? And they're going to add a fee to be able to get this permit to purchase firearms. And of course, the obvious argument there is that they would do this for no other right. You would never, in your wildest dreams, imagine the Democrats passing a law. Well, maybe now, but you'd never imagine them passing a law to require a permit to purchase or permit to exercise your First Amendment rights. You'd never have to pay for a permit to start a protest or anything like that. The only thing that they think this is okay with is the Second Amendment. I mean, it's patently ridiculous. And to be honest with you, anything coming down that is a tax bill or any kind of revenue raising bill, we need 3/5. And that's why it's important that we get out of the super minority. We need candidates like Andrew elected. We need candidates all across the board elected. We need to get out of the super minority so we can at least stop the most heinous bills. And God forbid we ever get close to a majority. I think we'll even see some Democrats peel off and vote for us. But in the meantime, there's no benefit to them because we're such a lost cause in Oregon right now. They're never going to cross party lines to do us any favors because frankly, we can't help them out because we're too weak as a party. We need more members. So please support all of our candidates, support Andrew, even if it's just with $5. Frankly, that drives his average donation down and makes him look better. So do that if nothing else. I mean, there's all sorts of ways you can help. And again, just thanks again, Derek, for all the help on the gun bill. We need to stop all this crazy, stupid stuff. I mean, it's so incredibly frustrating when you get here. I mean, I'm so frustrated. I obviously let my appearance go a little bit. I just got back from the gym and I'm an incumbent now. So I've pretty much given up here in Salem. So give me some hope. Let's get some more candidates.
I kind of like the Justin Bieber look. It kind of looked like that yesterday. So I was I liked it. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'll leave the Bieber alone. But the peel off of the Democrats is key in my district. We have those are the disenfranchised voters. We have a lot of common sense Democrats up in Southeast Portland who have been completely disenfranchised. 80% Democratic support for the referendum, right? Huge turnout. I had Democrats pointing themselves out saying, look at me, I'm doing this and I'm all with you. And 2A, that is a Democrat backed Right. I hear a lot of people come up to me in my district and they say, you know what, I'm a Democrat, but I'm a 2A Democrat.
Yep.
And that means something to them. And we're not seeing a lot of defectors. We're seeing a lot of disenfranchised voters who are coming out going, this is not my party. The definition of a Democrat is no longer what we knew it to be. It's not the Kennedys. It's not the Clintons. It's not the fiscally responsible. It's the fact that people are going, where is my party? And we can capture that. We can come in and it's right here.
Even Representative Evans at the end of the long session said he was reconsidering his party because of the gun bills. And he came out publicly. Even
doesn't stop his voting record.
No, his voting record still sucks.
Yeah.
Well, and I look to, the way that they drafted House Bill 4145 and just the carve out section, for law enforcement, parole, probation, what a slap in the, and I was sitting in the testimony yesterday and listening, and it just seemed to me like they have this great disdain and hatred for gun owners because why would you try to criminalize people that just want to go to work, pay taxes, and go to the range on a Sunday? It just makes no sense to me. And good thing for us is I don't feel that really special interest was too heavy into this bill just because it's such a colossus failure, and so I feel that we're going to have some good moves. I hear there's might be an amendment. Is that what you guys possibly may be working on, Alec?
Yes, there's going to be an amendment forthcoming.
I heard that last night.
So I don't want to give anything away, but we're going to do everything we can to stop it.
We're going to throw monkey wrenches at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even more pro gun than Derek. I don't want to go into details about how pro gun I am, but
I wouldn't want to break into our house.
I'm pretty. Yeah. We should compare notes sometime. I'd love that.
Hey man, I'm wearing a shirt that says "Draft Congress." Okay, I'm pretty radical.
That's true. That is true. I love it.
So this is live. So we had a question for you, Alec, and it has to do with House Bill 4091, which is this is Jane Brown asked a question. This is the National Guard bill.
Yes,
I think you originally signed on to it.
Yes.
And can you explain?
So 4091, it's honestly a fairly complicated bill for how simple it is. It basically tries to restore some power back to the states when it comes to control over the National Guard, which I think by and large is a good thing. I think constitutionally it's the right direction to go. And that's frankly the reason I signed on to it. We actually just had the committee hearing today. If anyone actually cares that much to watch it, it's a little boring, but we really got into the minute details of what this means. And basically what it comes down to, it's a messaging bill for the Democrats that are upset with the Trump administration. The bill itself doesn't have any teeth really.
They can't tell the feds they can't.
Well, they can, but then the president will just put them on Title 10 orders, which federalizes the National Guard, which takes it out of the state's hands.
Yeah.
So basically it's just a messaging bill for the Democrats. I'm probably going to come off the bill. But again, it's not actually a bad bill on its own. It's just the timing of it. They're just trying to exploit it and make it look like they're having a win for their constituents against the Trump administration, when in reality, the bill doesn't actually do anything. So it's really just a Democrat messaging bill. So I'll probably come off it for that reason.
When we went through the bills today, I wrote Orange Man bad bills.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. That's where we're at. So I hope that Jane, if you're still watching, I hope that answered the question. Hopefully. Okay, so real quick, I want to do some. Got a pair of bills, so I want to read some commercials for our sponsors, and then we'll get back to the important stuff here. And who wants to go first? You want to go first? You want to read one?
I'll read one.
Okay.
Someone's coming over to try to.
Oh,
yeah. Do I go right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Becky Holmes Insurance. Are you still getting Medicare calls? They are relentless. They claim that they can get you the moon and the stars, but can they? Most likely not. Just like with anything else, if it's too good to be true, probably is. Find someone trustworthy like Becky Holm. Feel free to expound on my worthiness. Oh, that's notes. She's very worthy. If you've moved or turning 65, or if you have questions about Medicare, Marketplace, or any other insurance, call Becky, your trusted insurance lady. She's licensed in a dozen states and located right here in Roseburg, or I guess right down there in Roseburg.
Yep.
Call 541-900-6001. That's 541-900-6001. And more importantly, she's a sponsor of the Verge podcast.
She
So
is.
if nothing else, support her for that reason alone.
I'll take that back.
Thank you.
And a couple things. Number one, Ed Renfro, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming on, as well as your sister. And I have to say that I do know Becky. She's a good friend. I trust her. She's a great insurance agent. She handles stuff that I call her all the time with questions. It's just, there are people that just know their stuff, and she's one of those people that know their stuff. So if you have a question, feel free to call her. Again, her number is 541-900-6001. And so since you're the new guy,
Yeah.
would you like to try one?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. Voice or a face for radio, huh?
Face for radio.
As small business owners right here in Douglas County, we know how it goes. Long days, too much caffeine, and not near enough sleep. If your New Year's resolutions have slipped, as most of us have, give yourself some grace. February is a better time to reset anyway. Find Andrea Williams with Advocare, distributor on Facebook, and reach out. She'll help you get back on track in a realistic way, or visit her website, healthyhabittribe.org. But make sure you're standing and walking in place when you visit that website. Don't sit on the couch. healthyhabittribe.org.
That's pretty awesome. You know what? You did so well. I think when you're on the house floor, you're going to be able to you'll just pull it right off. That's awesome.
My mentor is Lynn Snodgrass. So that's, I'll speak her one day.
There you go. Well, again, I'm going to pitch for Andrea. She's a great lady. She's a great supporter. Wonderful product. I use it. Trent uses it. If you've never tried it, the Spark is the energy drink that I get from her. And I have to admit, I'm behind on my orders. I need to order some. But please support her business. She's an amazing person, doing some amazing stuff. Trent, you got something there for Bill Hagedorn?
Yes, I do. Hey, quick question for you. You know what the busiest day in the gym is every year?
Day after New Year's.
January 2nd.
Yep.
You know what the slowest day in the gym is?
Last night. And I didn't get it.
January 3rd.
I believe it.
All right. I heard that joke a long time ago. All right. I'm going to talk about my buddy, Bill Hagedorn. Bill Hagedorn Construction. For all your construction needs, new additions, remodels, decks, fencing and flooring, and tile work, we have you covered. If we can't do it, we'll find someone who can. Check us out on Facebook and see some of our work today. Bill Hagedorn Construction, 541-817-3704.
I don't know. I think Andrew beat you, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I had a little bobble there, and I've got a little allergy thing going on.
All right. So thank you. And again, Bill, great guy. I vouch for him. Great contractor. Just a super good dude. And his wife too. They work together, and very good friends. Also very conservative, great people. So, Trent, we haven't really picked on you much tonight. Did you have anything you want to talk about? We've been kind of going through some stuff, but before we get into the meat and potatoes of the crap that we're hearing, is there something you want to bring up or anything?
Well, I just want to kind of drill down a little bit because it's in the state. There's a lot of confusion going on, and maybe you can lean into this a little bit. People are saying, ICE is here illegally. And, I told someone yesterday, the minute you set a building on fire, you blow someone's car up, you do something to harm that officer, you're the one doing it illegally. And they're just, what's your guys' takedown on all that?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I actually have it written down here.
Well, that was one of them. I think that was a good question for me to ask then.
So this is kind of where I'm at with ICE. Okay. So, I won't get it. There's some other info I got here too, but as a Republican, I support restoring accountability for immigration laws, especially when it upholds the safety of all who live here. The president's executive orders on immigration prioritize criminals, especially drug cartels and international criminal gangs, and that's what we've seen. ICE is a leader in the fight against human trafficking and dismantling drug cartels, and Oregon leaders should not stand in the way of this work. I can't say that enough. In 2022, illicitly manufactured fentanyl contributed to 65% of all overdose deaths in Oregon, making it the deadliest illicit drug in our state. And we obviously in 24 we got some of that change, but it's still happening. I mean, it's
Right.
And lastly, highway Interstate 5 and Interstate 84 are hubs for illegal sex trafficking and labor trafficking, and the FBI says immigrants lacking documentation are amongst the most targeted. Now, I also took it upon myself a couple years ago now to go down to the border at Yuma, and the amount of drugs that were crossing the border, 1,800 people a day cross the border illegally in the one spot that we stopped at. And that's finally, thank God, President Trump's kind of put the kibosh on some of that. But, do I support ICE? I guess I do. I think they're doing the work that needs to be done. I don't support people going out there and trying to, protest. And, I don't want to see anybody get shot. But for crying out loud, don't show up at an ICE raid with a gun. And I don't want to get into that because I know where that's going to go. So we'll leave that to Derek's.
I think the numbers speak for themselves. Last night, Kash Patel reported, as of right now, we're at a 25+ year low for murders in the last 12 months.
Yeah. No, things are changing, and I know, change is never easy, and sometimes it's painful.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our state has doubled down on everything that the federal administration has tried to do to fix what's going on in the country, and we've doubled down against everything, or tripled down, or more.
So my question for you, as an elected official, as somebody that's in the people's building, do you think it's appropriate attire for an office to have signs that says ICE is not welcome here in some of these offices? Is that appropriate use of the people's building?
Interesting. I haven't seen that. I'm assuming that's happening on the second floor.
I forget what floor it was. It was on your side.
Okay.
But there was multiple offices that I walked in. I mean, obviously I support people's free speech, but it's like you're doing the work of your constituents in this marble building. There should be a certain level of decorum and respect, right? And what's appropriate when it comes to this type of stuff.
Yeah, but frankly, the Democrats have showed time and time again they don't care about that moral respect or any of that stuff, Derek. So
Right.
I do have to say that I am a First Amendment believer. I mean, you should have the right to freedom of speech, and I have a sign over my office door that says I can't fix stupid. So I suppose if it kind of goes with it, you know what I mean? So that's let's put it this way: if I visited my representative in the building, and that's the sign that I walked into, I would be very upset with that representative. But we do live in a representative republic, and so even though they obviously only care about that small section of people in their district, the rest of us can go to hell. I think that's to say the least.
Well, and I think that's what I'm trying to do with the work that I'm doing inside the legislatures. I'm trying to get people to come into the building. I'm trying to get them to meet their reps, their senators. I'm trying to get them to engage, and it seems to be working. But I also, I don't want people to not want to go to the building just because of what they might find inside the building. I guess that was kind of where I was going with it.
Well, they used to be, you go to the second floor and you'd find all the silhouettes of Obama and crap like that. So I don't know. We've got silhouettes of Trump, so yeah, it's a tough one, but I get it. There's a lot of, to me, there's decorum that should happen in that house, but then let's talk just real quick about the campaign finance during session thing that we just brought up. That was found to be an unconstitutional rule in the House, and basically it blocks Representative Deal from being able to raise money while he's campaigning for governor, right? But Senator Drazen, being on the Senate side, because it's not against the rules in the Senate, she can do that. Or for that matter, the governor can raise money, et cetera, et cetera. So I was the one to ask for the legal opinion on it, and we got the legal opinion. The legal opinion says that rule is unconstitutional. So I went back to the Rules Committee and I said, look, I'm gonna either blow this up or you guys are gonna have to get off this rule. And basically, they said, well, the optics. I don't give a damn about the optics. The fact is that the entire House, all 60 of us, have to go by a rule that is unconstitutional. Now, there's no penalty spoken or written if we don't follow that rule. So it's kind of like it doesn't have any teeth. But nonetheless, they could the speaker could yank you off your committee. She could do whatever. She could punish you however she chooses. In my opinion, if that happens, that's when the lawsuit time starts, because that would be damages that are unnecessary. But that's how the Democrats live. They only they don't care about anything except the way they want it, and that's it. And then they turn around and call us fascists and everything else. And anyway, go ahead, Derek. I think you probably want to say something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw some fascism yesterday, actually, with the way I was prevented from testifying and the way this whole thing was rammed down our throats. So I can understand, and I feel that it's the problem is the supermajority, and the problem is both sides of the aisle and the governorship, they're all controlled by them, and so I think what we need is some good faith and some goodwill, but I know this is politics, and that's why I'm probably too naive, but I like to think that when I go in these offices that I do build that goodwill with the people on the other side of the aisle, and I help them. Like yesterday, I spent a majority of my time preparing talking points for people on the other side of the aisle in these committee hearings, and that way they can understand the complexity of what House Bill 4145 is, the fact that, there's an issue with ICE currently right now. And now the state of Oregon wants me to submit my fingerprints to the FBI, and then the FBI can do whatever they want to, and they don't even have to return them. That shows some privacy issues for me, and also the people that are on the other side of the aisle. The fee, raising the fee from $65 when it was originally voted on back in 2022 to $150. That's pricing people out of this game, and that's the one thing about our two-way rights. It's for everyone, not just the ones that have the money to be able to buy this garbage permit to exercise the right. So. I support you guys, and I'm there to help you guys, but I feel that it's you guys for the first day, you guys had good spirits. I know it was a long day for you guys, and I just can't imagine going 33 more days just like that.
Let me put it to you the way Rep. Reschke said today. I told him I was going to steal this. So Rep. Reschke, we were in our leadership meeting today, and he goes, this is how I feel about the short session. He says, I feel like we've entered into a poker game with the Democrats. He said, and we flipped our first three cards, and we're looking at our hand, and they just went ahead and pushed their entire hand in without ever looking at it and said, we're all in. And that's kind of how they're acting right now. It's I don't know at this point. I don't know what is leverage bills and what's the reality. But here in a few minutes, we're going to go through the list of bad bills and talk even some more about that. I want to real quick talk about a poll that Oregon Business and Industry did, OBI. I was just given this in an email today, and this gives you kind of a pulse of where the state is. So voters are pessimistic about the direction of the state. Only 26% say the state is heading in the right direction, with positivity remaining stubbornly low since 2021. Most voters say the problem facing the state is getting worse. 26% think we're going in the right direction of those polled. And I don't know how, in fairness, I don't know how many the poll was, but it was an OBI poll, so I'm sure it was several thousand people that were polled. Elected leaders get low rankings for job performance. 64% disapprove of Governor Kotek's performance. 64% disapprove of Oregon's legislature's performance, and 55% disapprove of President Trump's performance. When they say the Oregon legislature, I have to say it, and I realize I'm deflecting a little bit because I'm part of the legislature. I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm not there doing the work. What I'm saying is the majority party controls the tempo of the work. They're the ones that decide where well, frankly, them and the unions decided how the entire long session went, and now we're headed right into it again. So, it is what it is. Economic outlook is poor in Oregon. Oregonians are struggling to get by. 73% rate Oregon's current economic condition is poor, up from 60% in 2021. So obviously we're going in the wrong directions. 68% say conditions are getting worse, up from 62% in 2021. Nearly half struggle to pay their essentials. We had a hearing today on some other really pretty horrible banking bills, and there were some numbers that came out, and I don't remember the exact number. Well, a very high percentage of Oregonians could not afford a $400 emergency without using credit to fix it, right? I mean, people are literally living paycheck to paycheck and struggling to do that. And
And the average family pays $600 increase on the gas tax.
On the gas tax,
So
right?
that puts them underwater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Voters blame high taxes and excessive regulations for Oregon's sluggish economy. 52% think Oregon's economic growth rate is slower than the national average, and it is. 42% think it's about the same. 4% think it's faster again, or asked to explain the slow growth. 23% mentioned high taxes. 21% mentioned excessive regulations, which is a real problem. No other reasons were cited. Yeah, it kind of goes on, and you can go to OBI's website and see some of these. Trent, you might want to do that just to bring it to the committee meeting. But the point of this is that we've had literally 40 years of one party rule, right? People, I think, often say, well, the governor's only been in one term. Well, the reality of it is probably they call it probably the second most powerful position in government, but at times I think it's the first most powerful, is Speaker of the House. Kotek was Speaker of the House for 9 years. She's had a lot of years to screw this up, and her party has followed her down that hole. So, I mean, it's time for change. It just really is. You're getting ready to come into the House. What do you say about that?
To me, it's very simple. I mean, you mentioned regulation. I think that we have one of the most highly regulated states. I think that deregulation can scare a lot of people, but not when you're overbloated. With every new law, I think we should review or put under committee 2 laws to pull them out. We are so overregulated. We have more laws than we can chew on. And to me, it's very, very simple. We need to gut the apparatus. We need to pull down so much of the, I mean, I went through, my campaign director asked, what bills can you get on board with? What bills would you completely throw out, and had me do an assessment on it. And I looked at it and I thought we could do just fine without anything in this, in both the legislative
anything,
or the entire session. We could just, we could just close up shop and be done for a year, and nothing would change. Nothing would be different. Oregonians would be just fine. If we start dismantling it a little bit, don't scare on me, but if we start peeling back some of the overbloated regulations and got government out of the way, it seems like altruism, but it really is very simple. From my standpoint, Oregonians are very capable. They're very good at what they do, and that's building businesses, that's educating, that's going to work, and really towing the line. The government's not going to save you. If you're waiting for the government to save you, you'll never be saved.
Absolutely. Interesting. Along that point, so I'm known in committee, and Derek's seen this, I'm sure. I'm known in committee to ask those questions that people don't want to answer. I feel like my job is to point out the obvious to people that don't get it, right? And that's why that sign above my door says I can't fix stupid. So I got a visit from the governor's office today, actually this morning, and it had to do with Governor Kotek's economic development program package council, whatever you want to call it. This is the one that former Senator Knope has been appointed to run, which is a whole other discussion. But
oh my goodness,
prosperity czar.
Prosperity.
Yeah.
So our question on that is this a farce, or is this, I mean, I know the answer, right? I mean, she wants to make it look like she's doing the right thing, but this is how out of
it's a meme is all it is.
It's the fire department lighting the fires.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes. But
Yes.
this is how out of touch they are. This is House Bill 4084. This is the governor's bill, and they have started in our committee, economic development small business. They've started talking about these incentives to get businesses to come into Oregon, right? Nothing like a day late and a dollar short, because there's nobody left. But let me throw the numbers out there, and you tell me what you think. Okay, so this is how you get to your incentive threshold. $150 million you have to spend to get to that incentive threshold to move your business into Metro Portland area, right? $100 million into mid-sized counties, so like Salem, Eugene. You have to be a business that, to get the breaks and to get the accelerated permitting, you have to spend $100 million to bring your business here. And this excludes data centers. That's not part of it, right? So clearly that's, but here's the number that pissed me off. I'm in committee at $50 million in non-urban counties, Douglas County, Josephine County, Jackson, whatever. you have to be willing as a business to come into this totally unbusiness friendly state and spend $50 million before you're going to get any kind of incentive to fast track your permitting. And the permitting to bring a manufacturer into Oregon right now is excessive of 2 years and sometimes 4. Sometimes after 2 years, they'll let you operate until they finally get around to giving you the permit, assuming that you're going to get the permit. That's how out of touch our governor is.
We've seen this movie before.
Yeah,
we saw Kitzhaber. We saw, former governors who'd come in and said, I'm going to be a business friendly governor. And they gave, and nothing against Nike or HP or, Adidas, but they give these huge tax breaks to those in the Columbias. And they were saying, Tim Boyle, stand behind this business initiative. It's nice with, $5 billion in your pocket already and you're fully retired. But we've seen this. And what they do is they trot out some special tax break for these massive businesses that have already left and already settled in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then they say, look, I'm business friendly.
Yeah. Well, we lost Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
We're going to lose Intel. God help us if Phil Knight dies. We're going to lose Nike. At some point, we're going to be one hell of a park, though. People will be able to come here and, just pay a fee to come and enjoy the nothingness, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
I put a list of businesses that have just closed, not moved out, but just folded. Yeah. And it was a huge list on my reel.
It's too expensive. Now, I do want to talk about another thing real quick. And there's lots we haven't even got to the bills yet. That's why we're going to go over an hour tonight. Sorry, guys. But and if you want to know what's going on in Salem, you're on the right podcast, because we're not going to lie. We're going to tell you exactly what's going on in Salem, from gun bills to taxes. You're going to hear about it tonight. Anyway, so I want to go to, there is a Democrat that runs it's economic development, small business economic development. It's Representative Wynn, Daniel Wynn. I have a lot of respect for Daniel. He came to our district. He talked to some small business owners there as well. And the guy owns a restaurant chain in Portland, and he's able to somehow pull it off, right? And I've seen him bite his tongue in times when I wish he wouldn't. I wish he would come out against his own party and say, this is BS. But the fact is, if you're a Democrat, you come out against your own party and you're in Portland, you're going to be gone. They're going to get rid of you. But we had a bill that is a committee bill that he sponsored, and it talks about industrial symbiosis. And I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but that basically means taking industrial byproducts, right, waste, and somehow turning it back into a usable form of something that can be done. Well, all of these folks came in and they all testified. There must have been like 10 different people testified about how great Denmark is and how Denmark has done this and Denmark has done that. Well, much to their chagrin, I've been to Denmark and I've taken a tour and I know what goes on over there, and they're not wrong. Denmark is an amazing country. They do some great symbiosis projects. What I said to them was this. I said, the first question I asked when I went to Denmark, the very first day, I was there 7 days, day one in the meeting with the folks that were doing the presentation, I'm like, why did you guys do this? Why are you doing wind generators? Why are you doing solar? Why are you doing hydrogen? Why? And the lady says, well, we don't have a choice. I'm like, good point. Never thought of that. Denmark doesn't have natural resources like, and Denmark is 1/6 the size of Oregon to start with. I should probably mention that. But they don't have oil. They don't have gas. They don't have those things. So they've been forced into being a country that does, kind of cool stuff, right? But I said, I asked her, I said, how in the world did you get both sides of the political aisle to agree to some of these projects? Her answer to me was, we don't disagree on anything. And then after doing the homework, I realized it's a monarchy, right? They're not the United States, but that's the model they'd like us to follow. It's a monarchy. Now, let me put this out there. It's also one of the highest taxed rated countries in the world. The income tax is 55.9% on average. It goes higher as you go up the scale. So that's how they built those projects. Anyway, the point of my rant is this. They talked about so burning garbage for fuel to make electricity, right? So I said, you're absolutely right. In Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark has the biggest plant I've ever seen for burning garbage. They literally go out and get garbage from other countries and they burn it. They turn it into electricity, and there's no the pollution from it is zero. I mean, it's all scrubbed. It all comes out. Well, guess what we did with our garbage burner in Albany? I think it was Albany. Yeah, we shut it down.
We decommissioned.
Yeah, we decommissioned to shut it down. So we have the opportunity to generate power. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I mean, the list goes on with that stuff.
To that, we also used to pull fumes. So we'd ship it out to Central Oregon, and we would have cap it. We would have these facilities, and we'd pull fumes for that, and we did away with that one.
Oh, it's well, and so my testimony, and well, not testimony, what I said in committee was, I said, this is amazing stuff, but you guys can't get out of your own way. I said, so here we are talking about, and this is just this is 1.5 million they want to appropriate to study this stuff, which study bills are BS, right? But whatever. I'm sitting here going, you guys can't get out of your own way. You want to do all this stuff, but you have so many regulations to why you can't do it. It'll never happen, but it would be amazing if we could deregulate and do it. In Denmark, they burn freaking starfish for electricity because they have an invasive species of starfish. I'm not shitting you. I know I'm cussing a little bit, but I'm not shitting. It's real. I visited. It stinks to high heaven, but they literally burn starfish. Do you think there's a chance on a planet that the enviros in Oregon are going to allow the harvesting of starfish to burn for fuel? No, they're not going to do it. I mean,
especially with IP28.
They do things in Denmark. So if you have a data center, and most people don't even know what a data center is, but it's a ginormous bunch of computers that when you go on Amazon, every time you buy something, all that stuff goes to a data center somewhere, and it's all dealt with by computers. Those centers create a huge amount of heat, right? I mean, an enormous amount of heat, and of course they suck a lot of electricity too. But in Denmark, they take that heat and they scavenge the heat. They send it back into the cities and they use it for district heating in the wintertime. And in the summertime, they cool their water with hydrogen, and then they ship that water cools the system, and they scavenge it back, and it goes back in and recools itself again. So those are just amazing things that we should be doing as a state, but we're never going to get out of our own way. That's the end of my rant for that.
I
mean, didn't they try to capture methane from cows at one point too?
Denmark doesn't. Yeah, Denmark has an amazing. I visited one of the facilities.
Methane.
Yeah, it's a cow. I call it cow poop facility. It's the stinkiest place next to the starfish facility. Probably the stinkiest place I ever visited in Denmark. But they literally haul in truckloads of cow poop and pig poop and whatever they get from all over the country, and it goes to this giant plant. And then it's what they call it. It's not a percolator, but it's a digester, giant thing, and I think it digests and it creates methane gas and does some amazing stuff. But again, number one, and Derek knows this from the Moms Against Virtually Everything, the movement. You have in Oregon, you have the people that are against everything, right? It's like, oh, not in my backyard, right? But then today we have a hearing in committee that talks about all of this solar panel development across Oregon. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so our farmers are going out of business. We're making it too hard to have farms. And you want to cover all of that land with solar panels.
With no sun.
And explain to me how that doesn't hurt the environment. I mean, the habitat that they claim to be preserving, let's just cover up 300 acres of it with solar panels because the deer will go underneath them, right? It's just crazy stuff.
And up in my area, they're pulling down the windmills.
Yeah,
I mean, they're yanking them down now. We're seeing them come down, and I grew up watching them go up, and I'm seeing them come down.
It is ridiculous. And again, I'm just touching the surface on stuff that I've seen in the session. I'll have some good news here at the end. Trust me, it's not going to all be bad. I have some good stuff too. But I also want to tell everybody what's really going on. I mean, you go on social media. Social media is going to be the death of this country. You go on social media, people get these ideas in their head. Oh, this is what's going on. No, watch the show, call us, email us, whatever. We will tell you the truth. We'll tell you what's going on. We're transparent. We have nothing to hide here. It's another bill. They are attempting to make it, and Trent, you're not going to like this, but they're attempting to make it let's see, I want to say it's a UPTA violation. So in other words, insurance companies, if you have a car wreck, okay, the insurance company sues the other insurance company or whatever they do, sues the person. They want to be able to have a third party sue. So they want to be able to sue not only the insured, but they want to be able to sue the insurance company direct also at the same time. That is the latest thing that's coming up. I wish I had the bill number. I have it written. We'll go over that in a minute. But I got some statistics on this. And families, the average family that owns a home has 2 cars could see rates climb as much as 16% or $740 a year because of this legislation.
And I'll bet you the 16% is conservative. It's probably more like 25 to 30%.
Yeah. Renters, housing providers raise rent to cover insurance. Cost increases nationally. 58% of housing providers say that say they plan to raise rent to cover insurance costs.
Yep.
You have to. And then they talk a little bit about small business, but between that pressure, the pressure of wildfire, wildland wildfire insurance, even California rejected some of this stuff. But here we are in Oregon, headed down the path. Yeah.
We know the outcome of this.
Yeah.
Right outside my district is Mount Hood. We have one insurance company that covers all snowboarding and skiing and winter sports. We have one left. We've driven out all through the litigation and the recent passing of that latest insurance litigation bill. We have one insurance company. So we are one move, and we see exits all the time of these businesses, one move away from Oregon losing our winter sports industry completely.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, and
we know this. We know how this ends.
I can tell you as an insurance broker now, I was actually captive with another company for a number of years. And I've been with industry presidents and administrators of the large companies. Oregon is the number one hardest place to place an insurance company. And I'm surprised we haven't lost more in lieu of all the wildfires. There were a number of companies that exited Oregon, just said, we're not dealing with the madness. We're done. One of the companies, well, as Virgil knows, that I wrote for, homeowners insurance is no longer offered not only in Oregon, but in the entire United States. And that was a catalyst to that.
You wrote my policy, and I got a letter from them saying that we're dropping you. I'm like,
well, it wasn't they were dropping you. They just were no longer.
They were exiting the state. And I was like, wow, this is real. I will tell you, and this is my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, but it's my opinion. I do believe this state with the majority party is headed toward they want the state to own the insurance, right? They want you to have to buy your insurance from the state. And I believe they're headed the same way with our municipalities, with our gas, electric, all of that. And I think the end game is this. I think if the state owns it and controls it, they can give whatever they want to the people that can't afford it, right? So it's socialism, right? We'll be paying. Well, I'll be broke because I'm a legislator, but I'll be the guy asking for the handout. But we'll be paying for those that can't. Then we don't have any control over it. The state just handles it. And the state does such a great job with all the agencies and the bureaucracy. I can only imagine how much of a crap storm that's going to be.
Yeah. Add it all to the entity that runs the DEQ. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. So I feel like I've been on a rant all night. So I appreciate you guys. Derek, thanks for sticking with us. I know you're a gun guy, but you're also a good conservative, guy, and you understand the crap. I mean, you're in the House as much as some of the Democrats are. I mean, some of those guys don't show up, but I mean, you get it. And I'm always happy to see you wandering around the halls up there.
Well, I think what I enjoy is just putting in the miles around there and just walking the halls, seeing people, having a face for, what I'm trying to do up there. So I think if we can get more people to do that, I think we'd be successful. Maybe we could stop some of this stuff. Maybe if we could have some, the hardest part as conservatives is we don't like to miss work, and obviously, and that's where, I totally get it, but it's like, we have to figure out a way to, if we can miss one day and at least make a presence and a showing and have a conversation with our representatives and our senator, I think that could be beneficial to you as a constituent, and so it's that, or at least send emails, pick up the phone.
Well, that's the real problem with this would be a whole topic in itself, but the Republican Party has got to quit fighting itself. We have to get together. The Democrats do. They'll eat a whole sack of garbage for the other Democrat just to make sure the Democrat gets the bill through. Republicans, all we do is we just seem to fight ourselves, and we just got to stop. We just have to stop doing that. But again, that's another day. Okay, so real quick, a couple of things. The transportation bill, there is a bill, and they're going to gut and stuff it and try to move it to May. There's still some questions on whether or not that's even constitutionally legal, and it could. There's a possibility that it could be not constitutionally legal. We're looking for some legal opinions on that. We might be able to block it, put an injunction against it, but maybe not. I don't know. Legislature, it's never happened before, so we'll see. That's coming. I want to bring something to everybody's attention, and this goes back to the part of the reason I do this podcast is because people don't understand how politics works in Oregon, and I want to bring this to everybody's attention. We all, at the end of the session, what's called the Christmas tree bill, the omnibus budget bill, we all like to take wins home to our district. And, however that win happened, and there's lots of different ways to get to that point. But here's what they're planning on doing. The transportation bill, the budget bill, they're going to stick that in the Christmas tree bill. So let's say you have an ask for, some housing for your district, or, whatever the case may be, health, my district, I got some machinery for the cancer center. If I vote yes on that omnibus bill, I'm voting yes on the budget bill for the damn transportation package. If I vote no, I'm voting against myself. So those are things, and I heard people, oh, the rhinos, this, rhino, that. No, the truth is, this is strategy. This doesn't just happen in a vacuum. They do it on purpose because you end up tripping over yourself. You can't help it. So
why don't we know about that? Like, I think one thing that we have to do is we have to get better with messaging. Like, you're doing a good job. Helfrich is doing a great job. Deal's doing a great job. Like, with the social media, like you got to be talking to the camera on your phone, because that's the only way your constituents are going to get it. And until we start figuring out and get off this flip phone Motorola 892 from 1986, like, we're going to continue. And that's the most frustrating part for me, is I don't want to be a politician. I just want to do what I do because I'm good at what I do. But I feel that sometimes my hands are tied, and I almost have to throw my hat in the ring. And I really don't want to.
You're absolutely right. And Derek, a little over a year ago, Trent and I, because we do strategize, we talked about a podcast. And the purpose of the podcast, which is what we do, is to educate people on government, right? And to tell the truth. And transparent to the point of pain if it has to be, but we tell the truth. And I believe that Representative Deal's doing that too. I believe Alfred. Thank you for mentioning my name with theirs, because that makes me feel good.
You're the ones I see doing the work, and it doesn't take much.
Well, I don't have any quit. I don't know. I don't have a reverse either. So we're just gonna keep on powdering away. I won't be happy till I see change. So that's where we're headed. Okay, so we're going a little long here. Real quick, I want to hit a couple. Let's do bills of concern, and then I'll tell you some wins that I think we have going on. I'll go through the bills of concern real quick. As quick as I can. Immigration. So these are things that, again, I can get you a copy of this. I can talk about it. We can post it however you want to see it. These are bills that are coming up that the Democrats are pushing. So there's a school ICE notification bill, basically, that demands that schools notify everybody when ICE is active in the area. And I'm not going to go into the details of any of those bills. I'm just going to give you kind of one-liners on it. There's a masking bill that prohibits ICE from masking in the state, putting on masks to protect their identity. That's House Bill 4138. There is a data collection bill, which is a racial profiling bill that Representative Choatin, of course, the white dude, I shouldn't say that, the white guy, House Bill 4111. There's also a right of action to sue federal officers bill, House Bill 4114, to sue federal officers direct. That I don't know who's sponsoring. These are all Democrat sponsored. Let's see. There's also a bill to not allow ICE to work to go into hospitals if there is a immigrant there that is a felon or whatever. They want to stop that from happening too. Mind you, a lot of these are not constitutional. They're never going to see the light of day, but that's what they're pushing. Here's probably one of the most important ones of this session is the House Bill 4015, which is disconnect bill. They want to disconnect us from the federal taxes that Trump's big beautiful bill gave us. The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. You get it right off your car interest, all that stuff. They're gonna probably stuff, we think, House Bill 4015 to try to take Oregon out of that. So, again, you work in a fast food restaurant and you live on your tips, you would appreciate that extra 20 grand that you don't get taxed on or whatever the number is. But your Oregon Democrats want to take that away from you.
Which is a tax increase. Let's definitely call that out. We keep the federal benefit. Taxes go up in Oregon again.
Yes, and it should be a vote of not just a simple majority, but it's not. It should be a 36 vote. Here's another one that everybody's going to love: House Bill 4125, which is Gamba, Mark Gamba's bill. And they want to take away your kicker. They want to take away some of it and pay for the transportation package and some other crap. I think 300 million of it they want to take away, which is right now, it would be a constitutional change.
I was going to say this is a constitutional amendment.
Yeah, but that's what they're working on. There is a sales tax that is probably going to be plumped right into that disconnect, but we don't know that yet for a fact.
Retail is a retail, yeah.
Yeah, retail sales tax. And there's a state tax. They want to collect more state taxes from you. Which is
there, like, where does this money go? Like, what are they going to do with this money? Does it go to a rainy day fund, or is it already spent on ODOT? I mean, where does it go?
I mean, in a nutshell, they're losing federal funding, so they got to find the money somewhere else, and they can spend it however they choose.
So could we honestly say that that's dereliction of duty of the governor that's fighting the federal government and trying to push back on everything that Trump does just because he's doing it? And where's some accountability there, as I guess is where I'm getting at.
You could say that. That's a nice way to say it. I'd probably say it.
There's state sovereignty implications here, which is where all of us patriots can land on. But here's what we should be doing: is we should be saying no to the spending apparatus of the supermajority. We can tell them to reduce their budget because they overbloat it anyway. We can say you live within your means, and when you can come back to us for more tax increases. This is not rocket science. This is basic Dave Ramsey budgeting.
I like this guy.
I
like
too.
This guy. So how do we get you elected?
We send him money.
House District 48. I'll post my anecdote. It's like I said, very flippable.
Okay. I got people in your area. Let's connect. And I'm up there, and I'll be up there next week. I'd love to meet up with you and see what I can do. Yeah, we gotta do something.
Absolutely.
My wife and I'll take you shooting at the gun club.
There you go.
All right. Which gun club do you go to?
Esticator Rod and Gun Club.
Oh, cool. Very cool. I've heard about that one.
Yeah, been a member for a decade. So
well, cool. You're on my good guy list then. All right. So TLT, transient lodging tax. There's a bill to increase that by 1.25%. That one is actually being supported by ranchers because I think $1 million and change of it will go to wolf depredation stuff. More to come on that. Abortion. We have an abortion issue going. They want to, let's see, it will allow the state to give, so federal funds can't be used for Planned Parenthood. That's just kind of how it is for the abortion thing because Trump. So they want to make it where the state has a fee for that will actually circumvent the Fed money and put money back into the Planned Parenthood. That is House Bill 4127. It's a complicated bill. You feel free to pick it up and take a look at it. And then they also want to pass House Bill 4088, which protects doctors from being sued for doing sex change, transgender operations, which is,
And Kaiser's currently under suit.
Well, I just saw on Fox, I think it was Fox News, somebody went the other way and sued for damages and won. So, we've talked about the gun bill tonight. That was House Bill 4145. We don't need to beat that up anymore. There's also a bill that's not necessarily a bad bill, but we're kind of watching to see how it comes out. And it's House Bill 4096, and it increases the penalty for felons having multiple guns. So I didn't read the bill. This is just the highlights I got from it, but it's Ricky Ruiz's bill.
Yeah, which is my area. It's a district right next to it, and
I'm familiar with it, and it wasn't horrible. I think they're well intentioned.
Yeah, it's coming up with law enforcement. Multnomah County did of illegal firearms, which is a win for everybody. Everybody is on board with that.
So the issue that I have though is it's coming from a DA. Is like, if this is an issue for you as a DA, why don't you have the discretion already to be, locking these people up? Why do we need to have a new law? I don't know. Like, I need to know more about the bill. But
Yeah, I do too. I had about 2 minutes of an intro to it today. I didn't really have a chance to see the whole bill. And that's the thing. I mean, every rep gets 2 bills, right? So there's 180 bills plus the committee bills. I don't even know what the number is. It's probably 300 bills that we're looking at right now. These are just the worst of the 300. Of course, let's see. Senate bill. They have a Senate bill to move the election to May. We talked about that. Transit funding with transit funding task force. So the governor wants to create House Bill 4008, a transit funding task force to figure out better ways to fund transit districts and spend more of your taxpayer money and give the money from give the money from rural Oregon to Portland. And then my favorite representative, Gamba, has a House Bill 4126, which creates a road usage charge fee for everybody. That's coming, guys. I mean, they are going to find a way to do that. And then
on the transit, real quick,
yeah,
just in Portland, TriMet spends $1.6 billion on TriMet on transit, and they take in 70 million in ridership.
Yeah.
So the delta
that's way upside
is it's cannibalization of everybody. That's a key in our district.
Let's see. There is also, this is the craziest bill. There is the county vehicle registration. So they pushed the amount of dollars to register your rig or whatever in Oregon to the point where it exceeds what poor people can do. So in any county that has more than 700,000 people, which is one, Multnomah County, you get a fee break from the state. That's House Bill 4090. So yeah, look for that. And then we go back to labor. We have the long-term care board they're trying to redo again, Senate Bill 1505, which unionizes caretakers in caretaker homes, which is going to raise the price. And unfortunately, my wife is in a home. The last thing I need is more increase in price. There's a wage theft bill, and then there's some bully bills that I don't know much about. Let's see what else we got. Well, there's a climate bill, super fun cost recovery program, Senate Bill 1541. That's just everything about that's just bad. And then there's a bill that I don't remember who's running it, Senate Joint Resolution 2202, which for every day that we don't have quorum adds a day to session. So they're trying to stop people from actually denying quorum. Again, crazy. I don't know where that's going to go. And we talked about the National Guard bill. Alec touched base on that. Another Orange Man bad bill. Let's see. There's a. I mean, you could spend a day looking at all the bad bills. Ed Renfro asked about something. I think it was, yes, there is a bill, and I don't know the number, Ed, you are correct. There's a bill that it's an immigration helps. I don't remember the number, but it gives immigrants money to basically fund themselves to get themselves legal or whatever the case may be. And we had that bill in the long session too, and it failed, I think. But they're trying to come back with that. Again, not a horrible idea, but we're in a hole. We're in a budget shortfall, and we're going to give money. It's like there's no money. Okay, so real quick, I want to touch base on a couple of things. Some good news. I have a K-truck bill, which seems to be getting traction. Even the Democrats like it. Representative Scarlatos and I were the ones that put it up. Also, one of the senators, Broadman from Eastern Oregon, and I got a letter from SEMA supporting it, which, if you guys follow my social media, you know that I go down to Vegas and I'm part of the SEMA Legislative Caucus now, Leadership Caucus, and it's nice to see they're getting behind me. That's pretty cool. And for those that think that I go to Vegas to do nothing, now you know why I go to Vegas. And yes, I pay for it myself. So anyway, also capital construction stuff. So I often get a lot of crap about I don't care about the homeless people in Douglas County, and the typical Democrat, that's what they do, right? Oh, you're a Republican. You don't like homeless people. Well, I put in for the Housing Authority of Douglas County a $5 million ask, and it's my priority bill for 30 housing units for Douglas County for Roseburg. So now I will say this: if you're a Democrat and you don't like me, that's okay. Well, there's probably a lot of Republicans that don't like me either, but I will tell you this: I'm trying. So that request has been put in. It is one of my priority budget requests. If the majority party turns it down, it wasn't me. I'm going to fight for it, but I'm not going to break my morals to do it. I'm not going to give them anything. We're going to try like hell to get it. Also, Glide Revitalization's got a resource center that we put in some money for, and then there's Roseburg High School Robotics as well. They're looking for some money for the robotics team. So we are trying to do good things for our community as well as trying not to let the state go to hell. So anyway, that's about all I have for good. So now I have ignored Trent too long. We're going to close. So Trent, I'll let you go first.
Well, thank you guys for coming on with us tonight. That's been good. And I look forward to seeing your campaign grow and flipping that damn seat up there. So, and as you know, through Virgil, we'll help you.
Thank you.
The guy's a dynamo, man. He's working his butt off. I don't know how much help he's going to need, but we can always get him more votes. That's a good thing. Derek, you want to close with anything?
So I just thank you for the opportunity. I'm thankful to all the Oregon gun owners that have been part of the process, and we're just going to keep moving forward, keep supporting our people up there that are doing the work on our behalf. Stay rallied. We still got 33 days left of this, and we're not going to quit until sign die. So we're in it together. So we're going to win together. We're going to lose together. So, but we're also going to win in November. We're going to take it. We're going to take the state back in November. So it's coming.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, like I said, you're always welcome in my office, and it's always nice to see you in the building. And since you're the one that's campaigning the hardest right now, we're going to let you close. So go ahead, give us your best campaign spiel.
Well, we hear take the state back, and the common misnomer, I think, is the red taking the state back, the conservatives, the Republicans taking the state back. But what we really mean is all Oregonians taking it back for the people. The referendum showed us this is a bipartisan issue that we're all living with and dying with. And what resonated most with me are people are telling me, I can't afford to live here every day. But the people who say, I can't afford to leave here are what are really crushing my spirit. People who can't afford to sell their house, or they don't have a house to sell to buy another house or move. They have no choice but to suffer. And in my district, that's all voters, that's all citizens. And we can polarize all we want. We can say, it's my side, it's your side, and we can duke it out in the middle. But at the end of the day, we're all bleeding blue, and that's Oregonian blue. That's blue and gold. And I'm here for everybody. And I have Democratic endorsements. I have a ton of Republican endorsements. I've got community member endorsements, and it's because I'm at the ground level out there every day talking to all communities, all races and cultures, all education levels. I personally don't have an education, a college education, and that's a badge of honor to me, because a lot of people are tradesmen. A lot of people are working hard for their education. A lot of people are out there saying, I've been disenfranchised, and to me, I'm kind of an anomaly, I guess. But I'm a Oregonian, and I'm working for all Oregonians, and that's very, very important to me.
So I'm going to throw this out there. I owe it to you anyway. I officially tonight, although I got to fill out a form, I endorse Andrew Morrison for House District 48. So you've got my endorsement. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of us that are going to get behind you. I think a lot of us already are behind you. So keep up the good work, and we'll be there for you. I want to mention one real quick, and he's in the background. You don't see him, but Justin Deeden and Little Mill Media is the one that makes this podcast happen. Of course, tonight we're shooting live from Salem, so we're all doing it remote basically, but he's still the guy that puts all this stuff together. Justin, we appreciate you. We appreciate Little Mill Media. And I always say it, if you don't like what we have to say, if we're too conservative for you, please quit watching us and go to a different podcast or go to Justin and start your own podcast. It's not that expensive, but, figure it out, right? So we're here to tell the truth and only the truth. Please like us. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook, of course. We're also on about 13 other channels. Wherever you like to watch or listen to your podcast, we're probably there. Amazon Music, also Apple Music, Spotify. We're on all those. And we're good listening while you're driving down the road. So please stay with us and do that. Our following has been in excess of 1 million. We've been getting over 1 million views, which is pretty awesome. And we love what we do. So with that, if anybody else has anything else you want to close with, everything else? Okay.
Good, man.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us
Thank
tonight. And thank you to all of our viewers, and have a great week. And we'll see you next week. And thanks for watching On the Verge.